Време на пандемия. Време за избор. От ръба на оцеляването до световните постижения. София на пътя на иновациите. Време е за среща на върха.
Hi everyone, it's a pleasure and honor for me to be with all of you today at this great event. I would like to thank Dr. Leona Aslanova for inviting me to share my knowledge and experience in innovation management. I was born in Bulgaria, graduated from the Warsaw Technical University in Poland, and got my interdisciplinary PhD in the United States. My wife and I have two teenage boys, Gregory and Michael. After 20 plus years working in advanced R&D, doing innovations and product development in the industry, I returned back to Northeastern University in 2016 as Professor of Advanced Manufacturing and Innovation Management. To present what I learned over these years, I decided to introduce you today to my third baby, the Gillette Fusion Pro Glide. We all have days in our lives which are precious, and we remember them forever. I remember the day in my third year at the Gillette Advanced Technology Center when I was called and asked to lead the development of new generation of Gillette razor blades. The objective was clear: develop the most comfortable blade. Develop a comfort blade a best a man can get. Beat any product on the market. As simple as that. When you hear your boss saying, "Sky's the limit," you understand immediately that stakes are high, that there will be a lot of excitement, and perhaps some pressure. We form a diverse team of knowledgeable and experienced specialists. Without going any further in details, let me just say that one thing I cared about was that myself and every single member of the team, we put our egos behind. We focus on the project. We focus on our mission. That was really important for me, and it was important for the team to make us successful. As we agree to proceed, we started looking at what was there for us. And you know, when you start a project like this, you start with the essence of the assignment. For us, there are two keywords: shaving, comfort. So let me introduce you a little bit in the world of shaving technologies. What we are dealing with? We are dealing with a process of cutting hair with a razor blade, and at the same time having some kind of controlled exfoliation. In other words, you are also controlling the interaction between the razor blade and the skin which is being shaved. What needs to happen? Well, let's think about this. What will give a comfort of shaving? When you shave, the discomfort will come from pulling the hair. You'll minimize this discomfort if you lower the cutting force. And here comes the next question: how do you do it? How you could minimize the cutting force? Well, this relates to something else. It relates to minimizing the friction between these two surfaces of the bevel of the blade and the hair. So this is just the beginning. As we agree on what needs to be done, the next step will be how to do it. So, as I said, we pick up a smart team, creative team who had years of experience, team which was motivated. Well, as you put all these smart people in the room, they will come with a lot of ideas. We came with a lot of ideas. Quite quickly, I would say within a day or two, less than a week in any case, we had 50 different new ideas on the table. So, this is great. This was testament that we did have a good team. But now comes the next challenge. How to move forward? Is it reasonable? Is it possible that you can work on 50 different technologies and make it in a reasonable time and come up with with a product? No. Well, there is a challenge. Let's think about this. There are people, well, some people maybe, it could happen that some people may perhaps like their own ideas better than the ideas of others. So how could we go through this difficult stage to really pick up the best? And I found that in cases like this, the easiest way to move forward is by simply agreeing on some criteria. Criteria which will allow us to sort through ideas. Clear criteria allowing us to pre-screen, to test, to do concept evaluation, to think about, again, our ultimate goal, what we want to achieve. Sometimes we have great ideas, but they cannot bring us where we want to go. Long story short, we did shrink the pool of potential technologies we need to focus on, and this really gives us a lot of air to breathe. Well, again, that's just the beginning of the project. So now we had to focus on each and every one of these possible approaches and possible technologies. And let's also think about this, that our final solution may not include just one of these possibilities, but each of them could potentially interact with each other and give us the results when all 2, 3, 4 or 5 technologies get combined. So let's think about one of them, and I just want to push you a little bit more in this direction of technologies. So let's say here is a hair, and here is a blade. And this is the profile of the blade, and the blade is moving up and cutting the hair. What do you think? Which blade will have lower cutting force? A blade with a profile like this, or a blade with profile like this? Well, yeah, you're probably right. The blade, which is a slimmer one, have better chances of cutting the hair with lower force, thus providing better comfort. But as we agree on this, then comes the next question. Can we make it? And how we can make it? Can we make it, for example, from the same steel? Can we sharpen slimmer blade using the same steel? If not, how to change the steel? Then comes the next question. Can we sharpen the blade using the same technology? If not, how can we change it? Well, then comes the next question. Is it just enough to have a slimmer blade? Well, how about we change the profile of the blade? Have blade like this, or blade like this, or blade like this. You see, we started with several what questions, and these were followed by many how questions. And all this required the team efforts to sort it, to think about this, and to do proper evaluation. Because the next question, when you shrink the possible approaches or you go deeper into each and every one of them, is the question, how do you know? Well, you can say we measure it. Well, how do you measure it? How do you know that the methods used for measurements are reliable, and you can have data with proper resolution. These are reliable and could provide statistically significant results. Do you have equipment to measure this? Does even this equipment exist? You see, this is what makes research, development and innovations so exciting, because you have to define, you have to state the questions, and then you have to find a proper answer to these questions. So let's say that we addressed all this, and then we come to the next stage when we need to test it on individuals, test it in small groups, do large-scale testing, and at the end of the day you end up with a product. So it takes a lot of efforts, but it also gives a lot of pride. So you understand now when I say that this is my baby, why I feel that it is so dear to me. I got a few patents out of this process, but more importantly, I learn a lot. And the product, of course, is a billion-dollar product of Procter & Gamble and Gillette. So I'm very happy that all this happened. We all agree. We all agree that we should always look forward. But I think what will help us to look forward and move forward with our research, is to look back as well and think what we'll learn. And if next time we face another challenge, how we are going to approach it. If you learn something and then you come to a bigger project and then something which is totally different, how are you going to approach it? And a quote by, famous quote by Werner von Braun comes to my mind, who said that you cannot have a baby in 1 month if you make 9 women pregnant. Why I think that this is relevant? Well, it is relevant because companies, governments, organizations more and more realize the value of innovations. All of us know the famous S-curve of innovation model, how new technologies develop and mature, and how you want to jump from one S-curve to another S-curve and do disruptive innovations and so on and so forth. But this teaches us one thing, that just putting money on the table is not sufficient to achieve all you can achieve by innovation. Managing the innovations, the proper management of innovations, is something that all of us has to be aware of. So we don't waste money and we achieve results. This brings the discussion to another place. It brings the discussion to the involvement of academic institutions. Most universities have the capabilities of doing advanced research and development. Companies, even big companies, not always maintain sophisticated equipment which they are going to use, as Americans say, once in a blue moon, or use it very rarely. So, moving forward, what we have to be aware of is the changing realities. You see more and more small companies of recent graduates starting some new ideas, engaging doing them successfully, exchanging information, working between themselves. And this is something that I encounter more than once, and I highly encourage. We have at the university, for example, at Northeastern, we have Research Innovation Show every April, where faculty members, graduate students and undergraduates present their innovation projects. And I found this extremely beneficial to students and helpful to all of us. There are also other things which happen, and all of us have to be aware of. The old paradigm of people going to school, learning for 4 or 5 years, and then based on the knowledge which they acquire, they move through life. They get a job, another job, maybe third job, and they go higher and higher, and one day they retire. Well, this is something, this paradigm is gone. The new paradigm, and I think we live into this more and more, all of us, including myself, we have to learn continuously. We have to learn, apply the knowledge, learn something else, apply the knowledge, because skills that we develop with the new technology existing today have shorter life, because new and newer ones are coming all the time. So how we should do it? And I think in order all of us to move forward and succeed, to have better and better innovations, we have to challenge ourselves. Something that Franklin Roosevelt said many years ago comes to my mind, that a smooth sea never makes skilled sailors. We need to challenge students. We need to work with them to develop their skills. And we need to encourage cooperations between academic institutions and companies to make this happen. Think about this. If you manage industrial organization, where your employees come from? Your employees will come from universities. Why not engage these future employees of yours early? Why don't you engage their faculty members? Form a team, start projects, work together. Do some of your research and development not only in your own facility, but do it also in academia, do it together. Because students will learn the skills even before they join you. And this will be of great value to you. We had this model of Coop education at the university. And when I was working at Gillette and I was working at other companies, we always tend to bring students for shorter period of time, for 3 months, for 6 months, and then send them back to the university. Every 6 months they were coming to us. By the time they finished their degrees, they already had the skills to hit the ground running, and we were hiring them pretty much immediately. This is a model which works, a model which is proven, a model which is good for academic institutions, it's good for companies, and it is good for individuals. Furthermore, it enables this continuous learning approach which I just mentioned. There are so many things we can talk about, but the important thing here is the value of innovations, the value which it brings to us as individuals. And I'm not just talking about the fun, obviously it's a lot of fun. but it is bringing value to universities and it is bringing value to companies. So let's focus on this. Let's do it together. This is how we are going to succeed. Thank you.